Hey, what's happening? Another video. This is my second week of being full-time on eBay. I'm going to do these videos every Tuesday, so stay tuned. I'll go over some stuff from last week. I'm going to show you some profits I made and just give you some information that might help you out if you're trying to get into eBay or you're trying to take that next step to go full-time. I've been selling on eBay, said last time, over 12 years, pretty seriously as a side gig, so let's go right into it. So last week I showed you some stuff I found at the thrift stores. Today I went to the thrift stores again, and like I said last week, you're not going to find stuff all the time. So I didn't find very much as far as cameras, which is my niche. But I did find this. I'm going to show this right here. If you find boom boxes, buy them, especially if they're cheap. I tested this one out. It was working. There was another reseller in there, and he said he tried the tape deck out the day earlier, and it didn't work. Well, he didn't know what he was talking about. He put a broken cassette in there is what happened. So I tested it out, and it did work. It's only $5. I bought a boom box before, more like a ghetto blaster type one, for $25, and I sold it for $250. That was like a year or two ago. So these things are, if you find them, buy them, especially if they're only $5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell this. This doesn't really look that cool, but it's got a tape deck, working tape deck. It sounds really good. With the equalizer on it. This is a GE. I couldn't find a model number on it, but I'm going to do an auction at $40. I got $5 in it, and I'm going to do shipping as by area and weight, so they could see exactly what they're getting. And if that doesn't work, I'll lower it down to 25 and do another auction. But anyway, I'll make some profit off that. And the only other thing I found, there was lots of lenses, but they were all overpriced, so I didn't buy any of those. I just bought these Leapfrog things. I just passed by them. I was like, oh, those are only $10, and there's two of them. There's a ton on eBay, so I don't know how good they'll do, but it's got several games with them, so I'm going to list them separately. I've got $10 into them, so I'll put a couple games with one and a couple games with the other if they work. I haven't really tested them out yet, and then sell them for $20. So got $10 into it, and I'll sell them for $40. So hopefully that goes good on that. All right, that was my finds for today. So not a ton of stuff, but I did order a bunch of stuff offline the past few days, and different auctions and whatnot of huge camera lots. So we'll see what we get there. So stuff that I have gotten recently. I just listed this. Where was it? Oh, Sony A100 camera. I just listed this. And I'm going to be doing a review on this. That's why I like buying these, so I could do reviews on them. This is a really good camera, so stay tuned. I'm going camping this week. It's like East Tennessee. It's I think on Wednesday and Thursday it's going to be in the high 60s, so it's going to be awesome. So I'll be camping one day or something and do a review on that. But I've got this. I can't remember what I got in this. I've got $65 in it, and it came with some other stuff that I'm selling separately, but it came with two lenses. I'm trying to get 175 off of it. That's a little on the high side, but most of the listings on there don't have two lenses with it, and I took a little bit better pictures than most of the people on there, and it's been fully tested, and it'd be a good camera for somebody. So with my first week of being full-time, I tried to, just put as many hours as you would with a regular day job in there. So like the first couple days, I put 7-8 hours in. And then one day I spent 12 hours. So I was just constantly listing. I was listing stuff that I hadn't listed before, that was stuff that I knew probably wouldn't sell that fast. And surprisingly, it did. In a second, I'll get on the computer and show you some stuff I've sold recently, so you could kind of get that. But last week I sold $1,800 worth of stuff since my last video, and for the last 31 days, I've sold. This is gross now. This isn't net. $5,250 worth of stuff, which is up 31% from the previous month. So I'm gonna, constantly be listing and listing, buying more and listing and listing. So that $1,800, obviously, I'm using a lot of that to invest and buy new items to sell. So I got my listings up throughout the week. I'm trying to set goals for myself. I got my listings where I had 365 listings. That's the most I've ever had listed. So I felt really good about that. But I turned around and had a huge weekend, and I think I sold 42 things last week. So on Monday, the whole back of my back seat of my truck was full of boxes to ship out. So if you have any questions about any of this stuff I'm going through, just leave a comment or a question down below, and I'll try to get to it. And so I listed a ton of stuff, but I ran out of stuff to list. So I was like, okay, I need to take this time and act like it's like I'm doing a regular full-time job, and find some other stuff to do to kind of make the business go well. So what I did is I looked at some of my old listings, at some listings that really weren't selling that well, and I'll grab one here, like these Maxim cameras, Minolta Maxim. I buy them dirt cheap. I know they're not worth a ton, but they weren't selling. I was taking the lenses off and trying to sell the lenses separately, and yeah, then they weren't selling. So I just went ahead and put lenses back on them and tried to sell them that way, and I sold like 2 within 2 days. So they're picking up and selling a little bit better. So always go back and look at your listings that aren't selling, and try to figure out why they're not selling. So that's what I've done. Also, another thing I did, I sell drums occasionally. I had an old rack tom, and I know you could strip down drums. This is what I used to do. You strip down drums, you take off all the lugs, the rims, and you just sell everything separately. So I had some hot time. That tom had been sitting for, oh gosh, probably 6 months, not selling, for $35. Plus, it costs so much to ship it. When you strip it down, all the parts and pieces don't cost that much to ship. So that high price tag to ship it out scares people away, since shipping's gone up and up over the past few years. So I did that, and the first day I sold one of the parts off the drum. So stripping it down, instead of making 35 bucks, I'll end up making probably 70 bucks. And it took me 10-15 minutes to break it all down. And then of course I gotta relist everything. I think I'd probably make close to 80. I'd have to look at that again. But yeah, so find different things to do that way. Or you could, always create a new promotion. You could do research on there and just find other things that you could sell just by looking at solds of various different things. What else we can talk about? I'll get on the computer in a second. I just want to say thanks for all the positive comments last time. It really means a lot. When you hear somebody's, they sell full time on eBay, it might be, really? Like that's not a good thing to do or whatever. But I appreciate all the positive comments. I can do this. I know I can. My first week has been spectacular. And like I said in my previous video, good thing about this is I have no debt. So all I have is my $1,100 mortgage. So I really don't have to make that a ton of money. My wife works part-time, so she pays for some of the other bills, but I pay for the mortgage and a couple other things. So that's all I have as far as that's concerned. Of course, there's food, gas, all that other stuff. But living here in East Tennessee, the cost of living is pretty low compared to the rest of the U.S. I watched a guy, another YouTuber that does eBay stuff, Daily Refinement. Check out his channel if you haven't and you're into eBay. He has a store, and he sells over $1 million a year. But he was talking about having problems finding people to work, and he said that he's in California somewhere. I thought it was San Francisco, but it's not. But he said that the cost of minimum wage there is $14.75, and I was like, Gosh. And then I so I Googled it because I thought he lived in San Francisco. No, in San Francisco, the minimum wage is 16.30. So it just shocked me, and the cost of living in all these places is just like through the roof. And here in East Tennessee, it's still 7.25 an hour. Now you go around to the driving around and you look at the fast food signs, everybody's hiring, and it's more in the nine plus range that they're hiring at, not the minimum wage. But I found that ungodly. I'd probably move out of a place like that. I mean, I'm not sure what they're charging for everything, but if it's 16.30 an hour, I wonder how much a cheeseburger from McDonald's costs. That's crazy. Anyway, that was just a side note I was kind of getting off on. But yeah, he's one of those good YouTubers where it's a lot of the YouTubers that do eBay stuff are just there to give entertainment more than give you tips, and he has a lot of great tips that he gives. So I would recommend his channel for sure. Now let's go ahead and look at. I'll get on the computer and share my screen here, and I'll show you what I've sold recently, and those 3 things from last week that I showed that I got at the thrift store. I'll go over those as well. All right, let's do it. Here's my eBay here. As you can see, these are all my orders from the past 90 days. You can see I just started out going full-time, so this number is going to increase for the 90 days, 12,500. So I'm going to just go and go over the things I've sold in the last 24 hours. Say I've sold 5 things I shipped out this morning, and I'll go over those and show you what I got into them and how much they sold for. First one is this Canon adapted lens. See here, I sold it for $45. That's before shipping. Always charge for shipping on most items. So they paid for shipping and sales tax in their area. So that's what that $57 is for. So if we click in here, you get a closer look, and you can see what I did. This is an old Canon FD lens. I put a FD adapter in it, EOS M. Now typically this lens would probably sell for around $30 if it was working correctly. I'll always make sure you list what's wrong with it. It works fine. It's just the aperture's fixed wide open or stuck wide open, and it only shoots at f3.8. So a lot of new photographers buy these because they're cheap and they're adapted to their mirrorless camera. So I've been doing this for years, and a lot of people like them. That's why I've got so much good feedback selling these. Now they don't sell as well as they used to. I've got $10 into this lens. I should say that, and about $9 in this adapter. So the difference there is about $25 after you take out fees. It's more like 20. So these are I've got the whole template set up, so they just sell really quick. So that's this one. Takes a second for this to reload if you have a bunch of orders in here. See, 269 things within the last 90 days. Next, I did an auction. So I have these, when I get a bunch of caps that I don't really use, I've got no money into them just because they're just kind of extras that I put at auction. So basically I've got no money in this. I'll tell you how I get these from auction, what I intend to pay for them. Anyway, yeah. So this person hasn't paid yet. They've got this really cheap. So I'm always hoping they don't pay because I could make more with this. But whenever I get these a bunch of caps like this, I just put them in a lot. And a lot of times I'll do free shipping and start them at 1 cent, and it helps boost them up. I probably should have done that on this. That's why there's not only 2 people bid on it, because this is actually a fairly nice lot of lens caps. But they probably may pay. I don't know. I sent an invoice. Oh, here's next one is really interesting. I used to not be able to sell these for $6, $8. I just listed this yesterday, and it sold super quick for $20. This old T2 AF film camera, and I hope whoever bought it actually saw that it's film camera in there, because there's some more digital models. The T2 is kind of, they have the T3, T5, T7 for digital, but this one is a film camera. So anyway, these are starting to pick up in sales. They used to not sell very well. I couldn't sell them for $7, $8, like I said, but they've been selling really well lately. So I got $20 off this. How much money do I have into it? I think I have about $25. It came, this camera came with the lens, which was a 28 to 135, which I had listed, hadn't sold yet. I just listed it as well at the same time. I think I have it up for $80. So if that sells as well, that's a pretty nice profit there as well. Go back here, but that, just the sale of that camera almost makes up for the price of the entire package I got. There might have been some other stuff in the lot as well. Probably those caps there, some of those caps. This one is another adapted lens. I used to sell these quite a bit, but I got away from selling the adapted EF stuff. But I usually use the lenses that are the apertures stuck or fixed wide open, and sell these with adapters. This one sold for $35. So anytime I'm looking, I do the auctions online and buy large lots of lenses for, like, there'll be a bunch of lenses, and I'll average it out and say, okay, I only want to spend $10 a lens on this. Or if there's something special in there that I see, I'll pay a little bit more per lens. But so I've got basically $10 into this. And then the little adapter, this one is the cheapest adapter you could buy. It's an M42 mount to EF mount. I got all these for, like, they were like $1 a piece, but I used eBay bucks. They don't use eBay. You used to, when you used to get, whenever you bought something, you get eBay bucks. Now they discontinued that. Only when they have a promotion, you could get eBay bucks, and they'll send you an email saying, hey, if you buy for the next 2 days, you get 5% of your eBay bucks. So I would always use that money to buy something from Hong Kong, some adapters, some lens caps or something, so I don't have any money into them. So they're basically free. So that's what I did on that. These all sold, like I said, within the last 24 hours. That, and then this took a while to sell. I was surprised on it. This is one of those lots. This came in a lot. This lens right here. It's there's tons of these all over eBay, but they usually sell pretty quick. It's an EF mount. But since there were so many, I decided to spruce it up and add this bag into it. And I could have sold this lens by itself and sold the bag separately. Bags are kind of slow seller anyway, so I just thought I would throw it in for free and kind of get it to sell quick. But it took about 2 weeks to sell. I've got about $20 in this. This was one of those lots of lenses, I believe. And I saw this lens and I knew it would sell for around $80. So I bid up on that auction a little bit more than what I would do for the just $10 per lens. And last but not least, these. Now, whenever I see these in an auction with a bunch of other stuff, I act like they're not there, so I don't have any money in them. These are Canon FD teleconverters. So I've got two here. A while ago, I bought a huge lot, though. This might be the last end of them. I bought a huge lot of teleconverters because I knew I could sell them for around $8-10 a piece, and there was a ton of them, and it was a good investment because I think at the end of it, it came out for like $2 a piece when I bought. I think I bought, God, it was well over 100. So I tried not to flood the market and list them all at once. So I just was listing them here and there, and then finally sold them. I don't know how much I made off all that, but it was a nice lot that I bought. So let's see, last 24 hours, 15, 90, 110, 145, and then if this person pays 155 is what I've sold in the past 24 hours. And here's some other stuff down through here. Like I said, I redid these Maxim lots and added lenses with them, and they sold. Here's an interesting one. I got a point and shoot camera, old like 2 megapixel point and shoot. I've never seen these cards, but the card was still in there, and I looked them up and listed this, and it sold within 24 hours as well. So I had no money in that camera because I considered it worthless when I was bidding. So that was a nice little pickup there. That one was, I just did free shipping because it didn't even weigh an ounce. I'll wrap this up here in just a second. And here, so it came with that card. This bag was also in that lot of stuff with the Fuji camera in it. I'll see if I can find, oh, I haven't sold that camera yet. But this, I normally don't sell bags, but I was like, oh man, this looks like 80s, 90s stuff that somebody would buy. This is stuff I usually just donate, and it has a Fuji logo on it. So I was like, okay, I'm putting it up there, and it sold within 3 days, I think. It was a quick seller as well. If you have any questions about any of this, just let me know. There's another Maxim camera that sold. Oh, okay. So this one I've got off of Facebook. This guy had 2 Nikon D80s. He's like, hey, I've got these. They're just for parts. They're not working. And I have some D80 batteries and chargers and stuff like that. And he's like, anybody wants these, they could have them for $15 and whatever shipping is. I was like, yeah, I'll do 25 because I knew I could sell them. I could probably sell this for more because it sold in a couple of days. So I got them both, tested them out. This one was not working. Had an error, and the, as you can see there, the door's torn off there. So, but guess what? The other one was working. I'm not sure what he was doing, or maybe he had a lens that was airing out. So I've got that one up for sale as working. I tested several times to make sure it worked. Yeah. Oh, I was going to go over the stuff that from last week. So I said this camera had comps on it for $300. If you remember, I spent $6 on it at the thrift store. Well, this one was a little different. After I looked at the comps more carefully, this one is a zoom. The ones that go for $300 are fixed lenses. So I saw that all the comps were at 180. There was one that was more than that. I was like, I'm going to list it at 180 because there was an auction going on, and it was like at 182. So I was like, okay. And I had better feedback than the guy, and I took better pictures, and I put tested, and I really did test this thing, and it was working great. So that was an awesome. That's one of those things you don't find all that often, like huge profits like that, but they are out there. I mean, I'll find probably two, 3 times a year, I'll find something good like that where I've only got, less than $10, and something sells close to $200. So, and what else did I sell? Oh, I sold that. Where is it? There was another lens that I bought. I think it sold the quickest. Yeah, this one. This 28 millimeter, if you remember this one from last week. I bought it for 20 bucks. I thought I was going to make 60 on it. I looked at comps, and I just put it at 70. I was like, if it doesn't sell in a week, I'll drop it down $10. And it sold within 12 hours or something like that. So another nice find. Quick 40 bucks after fees and everything. Would have profited off that one. And then the other one was a I bought for 14, was, if you remember, it was the 35 millimeter f1.8 for Nikon crop sensor cameras. It's still up for sale. Bought for 14. I've got it on there for. I tried to sweeten the pot on that one and add. Well, I could go to it. I added a soft case and a UV filter and all this stuff. I think Nikon 35 millimeter f1.8. see what we got here. Yeah, this Sweeten the Pot. I had it 115. I'm dropped the price. I've got 4 watchers on it though. Over 500 people have looked at it, because whenever you're listing this stuff, put 4 and put the camera models. So these are a lot of beginning photographers, and they don't know what lens fits on their camera, especially with Nikon, because Nikon's Nikon. So um, yeah, soft case, and then through this extra. So this, all the other listings are like $105. So I think this should sell within the next couple of days. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And thanks for all your support. And next week, I'll go over some of the stuff I had. See, these are some of my broken lenses. I just put them in an auction because I know I'm going to get some broken lenses occasionally. And I just save them all up until I have 8, and I'll do $29 and then like $14 shipping. And they usually sell. I'll put them at auction, and I'll probably have to list them a couple times before they sell. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to check out anything on my eBay store, I'll list it below. And actually, I can do that right now. Let me show you something cool that they just changed on eBay. So if you go to my store, it actually lists how many items you sold. They just started this. I mean, you could pretty much figure this out anyway, but this is where you go to the link below, and you can go through here and see what I've got for sale. But anyway, yeah, I've sold, since I've been on eBay, almost 8,000 things. And it's funny because I've looked at some of the other YouTubers, and actually I've sold more than some of the really popular ones, like Harry Tornado. He's sold like 6,000 and something. I found that funny that he's got so many people following him, but he hasn't really sold that much. He's entertaining, but he actually is really good because he is honest. He did a video just breaking all of his stuff down, and he said, I've made this many thousands of dollars off YouTube this month. And then he listed his eBay funds, how much he had actually made, and it wasn't really that much. But his channel's pretty good to watch, so check it out, Harry Tornado. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. So if you have any questions, get back to me. I might do a live sometime coming up. So anyway, thanks for watching.